Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Panther Sports Zone. I'm Shaleese Nuckols.
My name's Khalid Gray.
So Khalid, this weather recently has been up and down, back and forth. I am sick and tired of it.
I'm sick and tired of it too. I woke up today, 43 degrees. I'm thinking the other day, like I'm gonna have a nice little fit. I'm gonna have shorts. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna work out today, and then I wake up and it's cold. And we're getting out of the winter season, so it's like I'm expecting it to be warmer. We're about to hit spring. I don't really care about a lot of rain, but like throughout the day, why is it so cold?
I don't know, and this wind has been blowing nonstop. It just makes the wind chill even worse. I get a jacket.
How was your drive up here? How was your drive to here?
The drive from Katy was absolutely atrocious. My car keeps like swaying back and forth. I don't like it at all.
That's no good.
But on a better note, how was your weekend?
My weekend was phenomenal. I think one of the things I was able to do was attend the games that we're about to talk about, as well as, take some time to look over the stats, really curate what we're going to talk about today, as well as just relax. I was able to relax for the first time. We had a jam-packed last week.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad to be able to relax and come back up here. This is my favorite place to be. So,
That is great.
But how about your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I relaxed. I rested. I didn't really do much. I had the time of my life, honestly. You were way busier than me, and I was so excited to hear about the games that we're about to talk about
Exactly.
soon.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So our first story is the women's basketball team. On Saturday, the women's basketball team picked up the home win versus Texas Southern, their fourth consecutive victory. The final score was 78-65. The Panthers were led by Ryan Payne, who put up 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals on the night. Her efforts were matched by her teammates Amore Williams, Jerlyn Smith, who took turns dominating the fourth quarter. 7 of Smith's 11 points came during the fourth quarter, while 6 of Williams' 8 points came during the period. The Panthers recorded 14 steals on the night, forcing 22 Tiger turnovers, while hitting an impressive 23 free throws, knocking down 82% of their attempts. Go girls, come on now.
Yes, I'm telling you, when I watched that game, because I was there, and that game was really, really good on a lot of technical notes. Something that we highlighted in the MMJs were their ability to play defense down the stretch.
Yeah.
The third quarter was, honestly, I commend them more for. You obviously commend them for the whole game, but that third quarter though, Texas Southern decided to ramp up their offensive intensity, which is that's expected from this Texas Southern squad.
Yeah.
And the ladies, how they were able to defend that team and push over 22 turnovers to a really good offense, it was something to see live. The ability to make the rotations, jump on the ball, get the steal, that was something that was it was really, really good. And their fourth quarter was nice as well.
I also want to highlight not even just their athletic ability, because I have some of the girls in my classes, their academic ability as well are top tier. Those girls be doing their thing, and as busy as their schedule is, I'm actually very proud of them.
Yeah, and I'm proud of them too for knocking out this win. I mean, this, like I said, this isn't a squad that you can just push over on.
Exactly.
I'm glad that they stayed poised throughout the rest of the game. They were able to, like we were just talking about, knock down free throws. That was big. And that's really, really big for this, because there was different times throughout the game where it would get close. I mean, specifically in that fourth period.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter was one of the quarters where it was important to knock down free shots. And we always say it's free points. Yep. You got to make those 3 points. And, a lot of them were free throw aces that game. So I'm proud of them for taking out that win.
Yep.
And doing really good defensively when it mattered, as well as knocking down key free throw attempts when it mattered as well.
Yeah, because I can only imagine how much pressure that is just to have to rely on yourself solely.
Yeah. And highlighting the star player, though, for this game, Ryan Payne, she dominated offensively. There was a lot of times where you would look at the game, when you look at the game as a point guard of her caliber, it's something that's simple to you. She made it look very easy out there, and she set up not only herself, but she was able to set up her teammates by drawing in the defense and being the focus for Texas Southern's Lady Tigers. And it was just something that when you look at it, it's just a masterclass every time you see her play.
Yeah. That type of leadership is something that you can't overlook on a team. That's very key to having that team camaraderie come together. So
Exactly.
good.
And moving forward, going into men's basketball, unfortunately, our men's basketball team fell in regulation to Texas Southern, losing 80-69. The Panthers received great efforts from Charles Smith IV, Javante Hopkins, and Brian Miles. The trio combined to 52 points of the Panthers' total points. Smith IV shot a blistering 4 for 5 from the three-point territory, and at the end of the game had 23. The Panthers were outpaced by TSU, the duo between Jonathan Sissy and PJ Henry, who combined for 51 of Texas Southern's 80 points. And me and Ethan were available to go there, get the footage, interview, really get deeper into the insight of what they were kind of thinking.
Mhm.
So it was overall an experience to kind of see them do really, really well at moments, but also, it was just something to see them also not be able to pull out a win.
Yeah. So I wasn't there for that game actually. So I'm interested to hear about what you have to say on it.
So going into the game, before we even got into the game, we were looking at the scouting report of like the players that were there, and somebody that we feel like flew under the radar was Jonathan, number 11. That man can ball.
For TSU?
For TSU.
Yes.
When we were looking at the scouting report, we were mainly focusing on PJ Henry and the size advantage that Texas Southern had over our Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were there, we were watching the game, and you don't like seeing your team lose to a very offensively sound team. You don't.
Of course.
So I think going quarter by quarter, the first quarter was kind of it was a sight to see.
Mm-hmm.
The offense of Texas Southern was just overpowering our defense. Early in the game, it became 4-17. Number 11, he came out guns blazing. I mean, he was hitting shots from top of the key. He was able to penetrate the defense. He was making our defense look silly. And you never want to see that. Being that it's a rival game, you never want to see that from your squad. So
exactly,
that's just something that we saw early on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But something else we also want to highlight is that when you think of it, they came back. It was within 2 points. It was a one possession game going into the half, to end off the half.
Yeah.
Then when the second half started, that's when you started seeing a lot of the schemes that we were doing really, really great in start to fall off. So, and you not being there was, I wanted to know, what were your expectations going into this game playing a rival squad like Texas Southern?
Honestly, on social media, everyone was hyping it up. I always want to root for my Panthers. So I was very hopeful of, just seeing what we would be able to pull out. But unfortunately, it didn't pan our way. But I was going to ask you, during the end of the game, what was the like, the vibe like in the on the court, off the court?
Man,
did you see any tension between the players?
Man, so being on the floor, I was there taking photos, doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But being there at the game from a spectator standpoint, I mean, to give credit where credit's due, we can't do what they do. Let's be honest. As much as we criticize them for how they play the game and how they approach the game, we can't do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But the vibe and the expression and the emotions that you felt, you can feel them from being somebody that's spectating the game. Going into that third period, you can see the energy get sucked out of the arena immediately when it would start going off. And to highlight a lot of our defensive players, they weren't able to capitalize on a lot of things that we were capitalizing on early on in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna like harp on it too long, but we just couldn't perform defensively. We would allow a lot of wide open shots. We wouldn't rotate. Something that killed us a lot was the rebounding advantage that Texas Southern had over us as well.
Yes.
It just wasn't a game that we were able to defensively capitalize on. And something that we also saw a lot was that it seemed as if we would do something good and we would go. The saying,
Yeah.
you take one step forward, we take 10 steps back.
Yep.
it was something of that later on in the second half, not the first. The first
okay.
half was really, really good. They going into tonight, when we're gonna get to that too, but I feel like tonight they need to focus on what they did well in the first half. The first half they were able to pick up on number 11 and
Yeah.
PJ Henry. You know, Jonathan was going off, not going to sugarcoat it, but they were able to pick up on tendencies, lock up when they needed to, and overall make the adjustments, which is something that I want to focus on. So I think that is something moving forward that they need to start highlighting when it comes to playing teams of this caliber. And you know, it was just at the game, being there, seeing it at the end of the quarter, you could kind of see some big plays from Texas Southern as well. That's what really knocked the energy out of our Panthers, and it was sad to see coming from the sideline.
Yep.
You know, there was a big dunk that went all over Instagram.
I haven't seen it yet, so
you know, if you go to Texas Southern's page, you'll see the dunk. You know, but a lot of people, you know, they look at this as something that is, you know, that's bad. Honestly, it's a terrible win. It's terrible. I mean, it's terrible to lose against your rival.
Yeah,
it's so bad to lose against your rival.
Never a good feeling.
But let's not harp on it. I think we should go into this next game understanding that they know what they did wrong. They know what they did wrong. So it's just a matter of making those adjustments defensively and offensively making those adjustments as well going into this next game to try to fight out of that 9th spot, make it to the 8th so we can make it to the playoffs or, you know, that play-in tournament. So,
yeah. Well, the Panthers will be back in action today here at the Baby Dome. Both teams are gearing up to play UAPB. Our women's team tipped off tonight's action at 5:30, a few minutes prior. The men's team will follow up at 7:30. Make sure you go out and support our men's and women's basketball teams. After this short break, we will be back to discuss our women's bowling team as they finish off the SWAC East Roundup this past weekend. Stay tuned after the break.
welcome back to Panther Sports Zone. My name is Khalid Gray.
And I'm Shaleese Nuckols.
And we are back from commercial break, where we're going to get into women's bowling that was in action this past weekend. The Lady Panthers participated in the 2024 SWAC East Roundup, where they faced Southern and Alabama A&M on Saturday. The Panthers fell by 2 very slim margins, losing their first bout against A&M, 807 to 883. The Panthers unfortunately followed that loss with another one, losing to Southern 993 to 917. The Panthers were able to bounce back, however, winning their first 2 matchups on Sunday versus Alabama State and Texas Southern. The Panthers defeated Alabama State University 977 to 955. Then followed that dub with a 15-point win versus Texas Southern 938 to 923.
Unfortunately, it was too late as the Panthers' losses landed them in 3rd place in the SWAC rankings. The Southern Jaguars went on to capture the regular season title, winning 9 matchups, only dropping 1. Sophomore Jada Gordon was named to the All-SWAC first team, adding another accolade to her long list of accomplishments. Gordon, who was already the reigning freshman of the year, led all Panther bowlers with an average of 197.52 throughout the conference play. Gordon bowled 11 out of 21 games with a score of 200 or more. The women's bowling team will return in action at the Midwinter Invitational in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That is a really good score. Jada Gordon. Whew, I could never.
Very good score.
My
And
average is literally like 97.
I think the last show we were talking just about how hard it is to bowl. If we're being
Yeah.
completely honest, that's a skill that I yet have mastered. I mean, that's something that I commend a lot of them for being special and talented in. So, no, that's a very good score, and we give more praise and congratulations to this team for persevering and being able to perform and compete at such a high collegiate level. And going into the next tournaments and matches they go up against, we give them nothing but high praise and
Yes.
congratulations, and we support you guys through all.
Good job, girls.
And the next story will be our National Signing Day event. This week, we will have our football team welcome the next generation of Panthers at the upcoming National Signing Day event. On February 7th, this Wednesday, the football team will be officially welcoming their new recruits at the Southside Sporting Club in Stafford, Texas. This event will be co-hosted by Alumni Affairs with the feature MC The King and DJ Superstar. For more information, please visit the Panthers' official social media accounts or their official website, pvpanthers.com. This week will be a busy week for Panther sports. Following today's men's basketball game, tonight, as well as the women's, will be the women's tennis team taking court at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas this Wednesday. This will be followed by the aforementioned National Signing Day at 7 p.m. On Friday, our men's and women's track team will be participating in the Howie Ryan Invitational at the University of Houston.
Our softball team will begin their highly anticipated season this Friday as they begin invitational play at the 2024 Incarnate Word Cardinal Invitational. The number one ranked Lady Panthers, who lead the SWAC with 6 All-SWAC conference selections, will face the Linwood, Buffalo, and Incarnate Word over the course of the weekend. On Saturday, the men's and women's basketball teams, as well as our women's tennis team, will be in action. The Lady Panthers tennis team will play the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley here at PV's tennis courts. The women's and men's basketball teams will take the court to play Bethune-Cookman in Florida. The women's games are scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the men's games following at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good luck to all our Panthers squads this week.
And good luck to all Panthers as well. We are excited to see you guys compete on such a high collegiate stage. And we hope to see you guys tonight with Arkansas Pine Bluff coming to our own baby dome.
Yep.
You guys get to see the Lady Panthers at 5:30 with the men's Panthers at 7 p.m. We hope to see you guys there. And I think this will wrap up the rest of Panther Sports Zone for today. My name is Khalid Gray.
And I'm Shaleese Nuckols.
And it was a pleasure to have you guys here to talk sports with us. And Prairie View has been on fire this recently with every sport that's been played. So it was a pleasure, like I said, for you guys to join us today, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching.